at the satellite picture, it's still packing winds of 100 miles an hour, but it has been downgraded now to a Category 2 storm on the Saffir-Simpson scale, and the center is located midway between Jasper and Beaumont, Texas.
And Kelly, look at the expanse. I was telling my kids yesterday, look at the high clouds out there. That's the peripheral effect in the Atlanta area from the hurricane. I want to show you now the oil rigs and the situation there. Again, virtually everything has been either evacuated or shut down. If it's land-based there, I know refineries are everywhere there along I-45 southeast of Houston. And Kelly, the platforms, you got to figure with that track the way it was, probably took it on the chin there with that right front quadrant.
And I know in advance of the system, they shut down everything, and that's why you saw probably a lot of people heading for the gas stations. And again, in Atlanta, Georgia, at least in the state of Georgia, the governor has declared an emergency as far as the gas goes, so a lot of schools are shutting down Monday and Tuesday. In fact, Friday afternoon, the governor told Georgia that, yeah, basically people who have to work, can you please try to work from home? And yeah, a lot of counties are canceling school both Monday and Tuesday.
And that's all in an effort to conserve gasoline. I think I heard him say that they could save as many as 500,000 gallons of gasoline per day. Or there you go, the diesel fuel, 500,000 gallons per day. And Kelly, you got to figure that idea probably will catch on.
Yeah.
I know that the southeastern U.S. is going to have a lot of tight supply courtesy of Katrina and now Rita.
Well, with Katrina, of course, a lot of folks ran to the gas stations to fill up, and that caused a lot of problems. You saw a lot of gas stations, unfortunately, gouging, too.
And we'll come back with more coverage right after this. Stay with us. Eastern Louisiana, even the pumps, where'd they go? Well, they were knocked over as well. We'll show you live where that action is happening as we speak.
All right, as we take a look at the bottom line here on this storm, Hurricane Rita, again, it has been downgraded to a Category 2, packing winds of 100 miles an hour, but still we're seeing significant impacts across a wide area because keep in mind this system is very large, and as they move on shore, they tend to spread out and affect more area. So we're talking about very damaging winds. Coastal surge is still being experienced as well, and very heavy rain and flooding that will likely continue over the next couple of days. Well, the Weather Channel is covering Hurricane Rita from all possible sides with a team of experienced meteorologists stationed across the Gulf Coast. Meteorologist Janine Albert has really been taking a beating overnight. She joins us live from Sulphur, Louisiana. Stephanie Abrams weathered the storm in Galveston, Texas, and our storm tracker, Jim Cantori, well, fortunately, he did a little bit better out there in Houston, and meteorologist Mike Bettis is standing by live in Beaumont. Janine, I believe we're going to start with you now, and I know you experienced some dangerous winds overnight. Are you still experiencing some of that right now?
Yeah, Kelly, we're still getting a little bit. Rain is still horizontal. Gusts of wind over 50 miles an hour still. Even with the eye expanding and moving away from us, we've been in that eastern eye wall where we saw the most intense wind at about 2 a.m. But even after that, the heavy rain and the strong winds still continue to give us a pretty good battery. You can see behind me, this tree with the south wind is already leaning over, but next to it, the shorter bush, you know, it seems fine. It's the same principle as when we're out in the wind and when we get kind of blown around, we hunch down. Usually the shorter, squattier trees tend to be a little bit more stable, and the tall ones with more surface area are coming down. In fact, behind the camera over there, a very large tree is down, and that's really been the story across this area. Trees down, power out everywhere in Lake Charles and in Sulphur. There's no power at all except generator power and candles and flashlights. But now it is daybreak, so we're starting to see, I can see Interstate 10 from here. I can see a lot of damage over to my right in the hotel, a lot of siding down. And I understand, as I was listening to local radio, that some of the casino boats in the Lake Charles area have sustained major damage there on the water. Also reports of some local school gymnasiums damaged, homes and apartments with roofs completely blown off. So the situation, I think, is going to be very serious as the sun comes up and emergency officials start to go out and survey the scene. We put in some calls to some local police and emergency management. As soon as they can and it's safe for them to get out and about, they're going to join us here live for an interview just so we can get a better idea of officially what's going on. Again, a couple unofficial reports, 7 to 9 inches of rain through this area. Also an estimate, wow, it's still hard to stand. An estimate about a storm surge 15 to 20 feet to our south in Cameron Parish. And in addition, the wind peak gusts around 2, 3 o'clock this morning, around 100, 105 miles an hour. So a typical Category 3 was noting earlier a lot like Hurricane Ivan in that it came ashore in the middle of the night. So we were on the eastern side of the eye wall, but on the western side of the eye wall was Mike Bettis this morning. And Mike, Jeff Morrow called it. He felt like the eye would just sort of thread the middle and go right between you and I. And it sure did, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Split us right down the middle, that's for sure. The western eye wall is where we rode this storm out, and at the height of it, 105-mile-an-hour winds here in Beaumont. Really tough storm. It's calmed significantly since then. We're protected on a few sides here, so we're not getting hammered by the wind, but at times it's a little gusty. Nothing like it was just a couple of hours ago. Unfortunately, with Rita, we thought we were going to have a lot of rain. That has definitely come true, and with all that rain, there's been some flooding, but a lot of damage, we believe, now around Beaumont. We've got some pictures to show you of damage to a hotel, and we're going to be showing you pictures like this, we believe, all day long. There are going to be areas where we have structures damaged to the roofs. We're going to have windows out, gutters down. There's going to be debris and trees and shrubs in the street. It's not going to be easy to get around in Beaumont, certainly considering there's going to be debris and there's going to be a lot of water. Very high water. The street behind me has a thigh-high water. We were here before the storm made landfall, and we were feeling pretty good about what we could go through here. Let's take you through the beginning of what we felt in the evening, right through the height of Rita here in Beaumont, Texas. It's midnight right now in Beaumont. We've had steady rain and high winds throughout the evening hours. Those winds, what have they done? Well, they've ripped apart some billboards, a lot of sporadic power outages behind me, a lot of black out there. We anticipate power potentially going out in all of Beaumont tonight. If you don't have a generator, you're out of luck. It is 2 a.m. and Rita's now rolling on shore. High winds throughout this event, and that has meant transformers have been blowing all around us. Some of the street lights still remain powered up at this time, but there's been very heavy rain. We're taking on water in many of the intersections. Some of these roadways will be rivers come morning. It is 3 a.m. We're at the height of what Rita has been able to dish out rolling on shore. As we thought might happen, power is completely out in Beaumont, Texas right now. And with those high winds and the heavy rain, we've got some scattered, strewn debris all across the area. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. This is the closest that the center of circulation has come to us here in Beaumont. The wind is howling, the rain is horizontal, and we've seen debris and heard debris fly through the air, and we're hoping that this is the height of the storm and it doesn't get any worse than this. It's 5:35. We're still at the height of Rita, howling winds. Debris litters the streets, but what's dangerous now is the water is rapidly rising behind us. And that rapidly rising water has put us basically on an island at our present location here at St. Elizabeth Hospital. We're probably going to be here for the foreseeable future. It's going to be tough for us to get out, certainly considering that the water behind us is about thigh-high, Bill and Kelly. There's really no way, safe way at least, for us to get around town. Maybe we'll travel by foot and get you some more pictures from Beaumont here this morning.
And Mike, now 8.64 inches of rain officially there at the airport. May seem like a quirky question, but prior to yesterday, did you see any evidence of that drought? I know they have a deficit of like 15 inches for the year coming into this event. Did it look very dry out there yesterday?
Well, yeah, it was very dry. I mean, you know, the wind would kick up before the rain came, and it'd be dust blowing down the street. It was bone dry here, and so rain has been a welcome thing. Unfortunately, when you get 8.5 inches of rain all at one time, you have flooding, and that unfortunately has occurred for us here in Beaumont, and it doesn't look at this point like the drainage system is working all that well, certainly considering all the roads that we can at least see are all water covered. All right, that's the latest here from Beaumont, Texas. Stephanie Abrams is standing by in Galveston, Texas, and Stephanie, at one point it looked very precarious where you were. It looked potentially that eastern eye wall at one point on this track could come right for you, and that was really going to test the seawall in Galveston. Luckily, though, that didn't pan out, right?